the main stories. Indian Prime Minister Modi expresses readiness to help Nepal in its economic and development priorities. Prime Ministers of Nepal and India issue a 16-point joint statement. Bhutan-bound passenger bus from Kantipur crashes in Bhutan's Sarumarini, killing at least 5 people. 25 others reported injured in the accident earlier this morning. Exit polls in Karnataka show election could throw up a hung parliament with a narrow margin separating the incumbent Congress and the challenger Bharatiya Janata Party. And Sandeep Lamichhane lauded during his Indian Premier League debut. RCB defeats Delhi Daredevils by 5 wickets. RCB keeps hopes alive of playoff berth. At least 5 people were killed when a passenger bus crashed in Bhutan's Sarumarini in the wee hours this morning. The bus was Bhutan-bound from Kantipur. 25 others were reported injured in the accident. 21 of the injured are being treated in District Hospital, Bijawar, while 4 critically injured have been referred to Budwal Hospital. District Police Chief Rajendra Pokhrel informed that the deceased are yet to be identified. District Police also said that the headlights of the ill-fated bus had suddenly switched off, which resulted in the accident. Let's now begin with the latest national political updates. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi wrapped up his 2-day state visit to Nepal with the declaration of a 16-point statement by the Prime Ministers of both Nepal and India. The statement was issued via a joint press conference yesterday afternoon. The joint statement stressed on the need of implementing all past bilateral agreements. Both the Prime Ministers have agreed to cooperate on developing agricultural sector, railway and waterway, and expand the air service between the two nations. In the statement, both the sides have also agreed to collaborate on the bilateral trade and economic development. Likewise, both the Prime Ministers have agreed to revise policies to reduce the increasing trade deficit and increase access to Indian market. Earlier yesterday, Indian Prime Minister Modi performed a special worship at Mustang's Muktinath and Pashupatinath temple in the capital. He was accorded a civic felicitation at Kathmandu City Hall, hosted by Kathmandu Metropolis before leaving for New Delhi. Now, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi made the best use of the 2-day state visit to Nepal to warm the bilateral ties which had suffered record lows because of the border blockade imposed by India. Since reaching Janakpur on Friday, Modi continuously stressed that India had not prioritized anything but supporting Nepal in its development efforts. Indian Prime Minister Modi assured of supporting the government on Nepal's policy of prosperous Nepal, happy Nepalese. Addressing the civic felicitation, he reiterated India's commitment of generous support for infrastructure development in Nepal via railways, roadways and hydel projects. Meanwhile, Indian Prime Minister Modi appreciated Kathmandu Valley's richness in art and culture. Saying that India had always prioritized its neighbors, Modi noted that Nepal's development and prosperity was the foundation for India's development and happiness. He stressed on mutual cooperation between the two nations regarding the integrated checkposts established for sound management of the open border, road network, petroleum pipeline and promotion of religious tourism. Before returning to India, the Indian Prime Minister had chanted "Long live Nepal-India relations" 3 times in Nepalese language. Now, Chief Minister of Province No. 2, Lal Babu Raut, has landed into controversy after raising the internal political matter at the civic reception program of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Janakpur. Experts have opined that Raut's complaints regarding what he termed a discriminatory constitution in front of the head of the state of a foreign nation was against diplomatic norms. Addressing the felicitation at Baravika ground in Janakpur yesterday, Chief Minister Raut had said the constitution had discriminated Madhesh and added that the struggle against the state's discriminatory policies would continue. Officials at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs have said that they were not aware about approval of the content of Raut's speech before the civic felicitation. According to the Constitution, national security and foreign policy fall under the jurisdiction of the federal government. This is why any individual holding a public position is required to receive permission from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs prior to making statements while meeting foreign delegates or while attending a program with foreign delegates. At a time when the federal government has been stressing on improving ties between the two nations, experts have said that expressions from the Chief Minister of province disputing the Constitution and reflecting internal issues have dented national diplomacy. Despite the nation having entered into federalism, the Constitution has determined jurisdiction and boundaries of the provincial and central governments. It is imperative for the state to pay serious heed towards the statements made against the national policy from chief ministers who have been administered the oath of office and secrecy as provisioned by the Constitution. And with this, we'll stay for a short break. For more news, stay with us. Welcome back. Draft of a new law to relieve the Prime Minister of Chancellorship of 17 universities, including the Health Sciences Academics, has been prepared. The new legal provision is to be formulated for appointment of the officials to ensure universities and academics are free from any kind of political intervention. Approval of the draft prepared for amendment of Act related to various universities and academics will establish the Vice President as the Chancellor of Tribhuvan University and Open Universities. Meanwhile, province governors have been proposed as Chancellors for Nepal Sanskrit, Kathmandu, Pokhara, Purvanchal, Midwestern, Far Western, Lumbini Bauddha, Agriculture and Forestry, and Rajashri Janak University. Criteria has been set for appointment of the Vice Chancellor based on seniority, academic qualification and expertise in terms of research and their academics. Other categories have also been set for appointment of other university officials. The draft prepared by the University Grant Commission UGC notes that the change in roles has been proposed as it was tedious when the state's executive head was shouldered the responsibility of chancellorship, which also included political interests and interventions. The draft proposes relieving Prime Minister as the Chancellor and Education Minister as the Vice Chancellor from the universities and replacing by Health Minister as the Chancellor. However, since the Health Minister is affiliated to a certain political party, efficiency of the Act remains to be seen. Amendment has also been proposed for appointment of department heads and deans of campuses. The draft provisions mandatory holding of meetings of the University Assembly for 4 times a year. Reduction of political influence in appointment of officials can be expected if the draft is actually transformed into law. It's now time for our segment, Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Your question: will political interventions at universities reduce after relieving the Prime Minister from the responsibility of chancellorship? Your options are A, yes, B, no, C, need change in attitude. The voting for the question is on. You can type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 8080 to share your opinions with us. And it's now time for the international update. Now, as voting ended in Karnataka on Saturday, a range of exit polls indicated that the election could throw up a hung assembly with only a narrow margin separating the incumbent Congress and the challenger Bharatiya Janata Party BJP. A hung house could position the Janata Dal or JD, the third political force in state, as the potential kingmaker. 2 exit polls gave Congress the edge. India Today estimated that the Congress could win anywhere between 106 and 118 seats, while placing the BJP tally at between 79 and 92 seats and that of the JD at 22 or 30 seats. Times Now VMR gave the Congress between 90 and 103 seats, the BJP between 80 and 93 seats and JD between 31 and 39 seats. 3 other polls said the BJP had the edge. The ABP News C voter poll estimated that BJP would win between 104 and 116 seats, Congress between 83 and 94 and JDS between 20 and 29 seats. News X CNX gave the BJP between 102 and 110 seats, Congress 72 to 78 seats and JDS between 35 and 39 seats. Today's Chanakya came up with a slightly wider range, placing the BJP tally at between 109 and 131 seats. It predicted that Congress would win between 62 and 84 seats and the JDS between 19 and 33 seats. To be sure, exit polls in India have got it wrong, sometimes speculatively, in multiple elections in the past. Both the principal contenders in Karnataka, the Congress that is trying to hang on the last large state it controls, and the BJP that is trying to wrest back the only southern state it governed in the past, have arrested that they would win the election with a majority of their own. For the BJP, a win would give it a springboard for expansion in the south. The exit polls triggered a war of words between the two parties, which only backed the polls that showed them as the favorites and claimed they would win when the results are declared on 15th of May. Development works have been affected due to delay in budget allocation, which is why the Constitution has made it compulsory to unveil budget on the 15th of the Nepali month of Jyeshtha every year. However, the constitutional provision has failed to increase development expenditures. As administrative system remained the same, 200 billion rupees allocated for development projects have frozen with only 2 months of the ongoing fiscal year remaining. Based on the constitutional provision, the annual budget was expected to be unveiled 1.5 months before the start of the fiscal year, and that development works would be expedited. The provision also spared the projects introduced as per the budget from requiring permits for initiation. Likewise, the Finance Ministry issued directives and budget implementation schedule for different ministries. This new provision was expected to discourage the practice of starting projects at the end of a fiscal year. However, the situation has not changed, as ministers and administrative units could not make use of the budget and expedite expenditures for the fiscal year as well. As per the Financial Operation Regulation, budget for any program cannot be dispatched after 25th of Nepali month of Asad. However, a majority of government offices have been ignored the provision meant for maintaining the financial discipline. And in this contest, we had asked the residents of Chhapa, Rupandehi and Kailali what are the reasons for the inability to spend government's budget allocated for development works. Let us now take a look at what they had to say.
Public voice.
जहाँ पानीहरु भेल कुदिरहेको हुन्छ त्यतिखेर सुरु हुन्छ क्या काम चाहिँ त्यतिखेर त्यो भन्दा अगावै काम सुरु होस् जस्तै हाम्रो काम सुरु हुँदाखेरि 7 महिना अगाडि नै युद्धमा सुरु भयो भने त बर्खाले केही बिगार गर्दैन हामीलाई हैन र
समयमा यदि पैसा निकास भयो भने समयमा काम हुन्छ र पैसा ढिलो आएपछि त काम त ढिलोमा हुन्छ नि
कर्मचारीहरूले पनि लापरवाही गर्ने गरेका छन् कमिसन तन्त्रहरुदेखि विभिन्न किसिमको गतिविधिहरू हुने गर्छ हैन यो कारणले गर्दा पनि एउटा ढिलाइ हुन्छ
आर्थिक वर्ष सुरु हुँदा साथमा सुरु गर्नुपर्नेमा त्यो नगरेर के भन्छ 6 महिना को बीचमा आएर तात्छन् तपाईं
योजनाको अभावमा नै चाहिँ के रे बजेट चाहिँ के समयमै नसिदिने समस्या देखिएको छ
समान टाइममा नमिलेको कारणले चाहिँ लेट हुन्छ त्यो
कृषिको भेटनरीको स्वास्थ्यको विभिन्न जो हामीसँग आएर जोडिएको कार्यालयहरू छ त्यसको नीति पनि निर्माण हुन सकिरहेको छैन अहिलेसम्म र स्पष्ट कुरा केन्द्रबाट आइ पनि नसकेका हुनाले के कुन शीर्षकमा कसरी खर्च गर्ने भन्ने नै कुरा आएको नहुनाले केही बजेटहरू चाहिँ त्यसरी पनि फ्रिज भइरहेछन्
राजनीति गर्न चाहिँ वर्ल्डमै च्याम्पियन छन् तर आर्थिक विकास कसरी गर्ने ठेकेदारलाई कसरी काम नलाउने ठेकेदारलाई कसरी कारबाही गर्ने यस्ता कुराहरुमा चाहिँ हाम्रो नेताहरू सारै कमजोरी छ
जुन मन्त्रालय अथवा उले बजेट खर्च गर्न सक्दैन त्यसलाई चाहिँ कारबाही गर्ने खालको नीति ल्याए भने मात्र त्यो बजेट खर्च हुन सक्छ होला
And it's now time for the sports news.
Sports news.
Nepal's prodigy Sandeep Lamichhane came up with a commendable performance during his debut match for Delhi Daredevils in the Indian Premier League last night. Delhi Daredevils, however, lost the match to Royal Challengers Bangalore by 5 wickets. Sent into bat first at Firoz Shah Kholta, Delhi posted a total of 181 runs for the loss of 4 wickets in the allotted 20 overs. Rishabh Pant top scored with 61 runs that included 5 fours and 4 sixes. Another debutant, Abhishek Sharma, contributed 46 runs. Yuzvendra Chahal claimed 2 wickets for RCB. In reply, Bangalore achieved the target of 182 runs in 19.2 overs, losing 5 wickets. Delhi used Sandeep Lamichhane in the first over itself. The 17-year-old stunned RCB with the wicket of Parthiv Patel in the second over. Sandeep considered 25 runs in 4 overs for 1 wicket. Despite a shaky start, De Villiers' unbeaten 72 and Kohli's 70 runs guided RCB to comfortable victory at the end. With the win, Bangalore has kept its hopes alive of reaching the round. This is the Delhi Daredevils' 9th defeat in 12 matches. With the loss, Delhi has bowed out of the tournament. 2 matches are slated on the IPL today. The first match will see a clash between Chennai Super Kings and Sunrisers Hyderabad, followed by a match between Mumbai Indians and Rajasthan Royals. And now, before we wrap up, here's a look at the top stories one more time. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi expresses readiness to help Nepal in its economic and development priorities. Prime Ministers of both Nepal and India issue a 16-point joint statement. A Bhutan-bound passenger bus from Kantipur crashes in Bhutan's Sarumarini, killing at least 5 people. 25 others reported injured in the accident earlier this morning. Exit polls in Karnataka show election could throw a hung-up parliament with a narrow margin separating the incumbent Congress and the challenger Bharatiya Janata Party. And Sandeep Lamichhane lauded during his Indian Premier League debut. RCB defeats Delhi Daredevils by 5 wickets. RCB keeps hopes alive of playoff berth. That's all for the moment. Our next English bulletin will air at 11 a.m. Stay with us for more news and entertainment. Good day.